Hey everybody, we are live on Twitch, and this will be uploaded to YouTube with just a recap of trophy number 13 with Elves. I got this week. It's been like 2 days since I got the trophy. I had a little bit of a busy week. I wasn't able to record, but I do like to upload the highlights. So this is the list that we did it with. A couple changes from the usual, I guess. I went back to 19 lands because I think that with 14 1-drops, we can do that. That also means sacrificing a Nykthos in the list. That also could be a Boseiju. I think that I'm keeping a lot of 1-landers, and I can't really do that with Nykthos, so that's why I chose to go down to 1 Nykthos. Also because Gnarlroot Trapper doesn't add devotion, so that's why I made that decision there. Oh, I'm realizing that maybe my volume wasn't good. All right, that should be better. Okay, for the 1-drops, I was on to Sentinel Stalwarts. I like that card. I think Gnarlroot Trapper could be better. I don't know. I'm still kind of in between, so I just tried Gnarlroot Trapper. I'll talk about what that affects in the sideboard in a little bit. Love these cards. 2 Elvish Visionary. in upcoming sets, hopefully we get an elf that can just like be more impactful. I think it's worth testing other things other than this, I guess, but happy with this card. Glissa is what I'm playing over Realmwalker. It's a little bit more aggressive and defensive, but it doesn't have the grind potential that Realmwalker does. I've been like somewhat happy with this, but it's not great or anything. These cards are, obvious good. Okay, let's talk about sideboard. So I switched up a couple things. I was on Stay in the Mind for a while. Probably noticed that that's out. I felt like the combo meta has settled down a little bit, and I haven't been needing it as much. So in terms of like our chord board, these 8 targets is what I'm going for. If Rakdos Sacrifice gets big, we might want to get Yasharn back in here somewhere. But Shaper Sanctuary is also really good against Rakdos Sacrifice, so I don't mind giving that up. Stay in the Mind, not in here because I didn't think it helped the green matchup as much now that they have Pelucranos. Sometimes they can just get out of range. We don't have infinite time if we just name Karn. So having just multiple like kind of draws at digging ourselves out, multiple draws at Phyrexian Revoker, along with Chord of Calling to name Karn and Kiora, I think is pretty helpful. The way that I'm choosing to attack red-black right now is with 2 Pylon and 3 Shaper Sanctuary. I'm trying to, I guess, neglect the sweepers and just try to stay above card parity and pile on their Shieldred is ideally what I'm going for. Ray of Enfeeblement is important for like Greasefang or Containment Priest or things like that. You'll notice I haven't been on Shaper Sanctuary in a while. I just want to try it. I felt like if I was on Gnarlroot Trapper, I can't be on Vivian, right? Because we're down to 19 lands, hard to play a 5-drop. But if we're saying we're just relying on 1-drops to get us to a 5-drop, that's fine, I think. But Gnarlroot Trapper just doesn't tap for that card. So those are my decisions, what I'm running. And this recap is going to be a little bit different because these games were played a while ago. I kind of remember the last 3. And the other 2 I played much earlier in the week. So... when did I do this? 5-6. Yeah, that's over a week ago. So I do not remember how these went, so we'll definitely talk about it. I'll be as surprised as you. I'll try to walk through my mindset, but let's see some of that gameplay. So this is a best of 3. Match 1. We won the die roll. Nice. Can't keep that hand. We can keep this hand. This hand's good. 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. I think we put a land on bottom. Hopefully we're drawing a 1-drop. And it looks like they don't have the removal spell. Maybe they just don't want to remove Jaspera Sentinel. All right. Big decision here. Are they... Because this is a big decision point right now. Are they holding up red as removal? Probably. Right? For Fiery Temper. Where they're removing this so that I, in response to a creature, so I don't get the extra mana source because this requires that, or are they going to kill whatever we play next? So, like, can we play Dwynen's Elite naked or Warmaster? I don't remember what I do. Looks like we go for Dwynen's Elite. Dwynen's Elite is a little bit safer because if this dies, we have a 2/2. but it has a downside of not getting the token. But I guess kind of no matter what, they don't get the token. So either way, a little bit of a tough spot there. We get to attack with Jaspera Sentinel. Hand's a little bit awkward now because it's going to be hard to trigger this Warmaster. Spikefield Hazard. Oh, that's a good thing to note. Get the Warmaster down. Piece of the puzzle. So this screams Phoenix. All right. But for game one, we are actually in a good position against Phoenix. It's kind of hard for them to recover from this, right? We have a big board. We're going to get this out. We're going to have Chord of Calling. We're going to have Shaman there at 16. Things are looking pretty good for us. I don't remember what happens, but as of right now, I think that things are pretty good. Get more of a critical mass down seems like a good idea. We sacrifice 2 damage for that, so it's a little bit of a decision there. This is good for them, obviously. Taking out our 2 best creatures. Kind of wishing I had that extra 2 damage now. But as long as we can untap reasonably, we're in a good spot. Let's see here. We can dome for 6. And we don't really have... Oh, let's think. Oh, they're at 2. I was going to say, we don't really have good attacks. Getting them to 1 is big, right? Chord helps if they can get like multiple Phoenixes back. As long as we can sneak 1 through, it's helpful. So that wins us game 1. All right, game 2. On the draw, there is a game 3, so I think we lose this game. Phoenix is tough though, so I don't mind that. Great draw, great hand, all around. Hopefully we can cast these collected companies. We're looking for lands. Ledger Shredder is tough with this hand, right? Can't really play around it though, right? We're not going to slow ourselves down. Them discarding an Aether Gust is worrisome because that card's insane against us. We already got some value though. And we're ready to cast Collected Company, which is great. They discarded an Aether Gust, so I'm actually like wondering about myself right here. They discarded an Aether Gust. Means that they probably have another copy. I feel like holding Collected Company there is really greedy. Maybe I was playing around a sweeper. You probably can't beat a sweeper anyway, but Ledger Shredder is really good. So I kind of wish I main phased that. It seems like a better decision. But it's a bad Collected Company anyway, so. This Ledger Shredder is getting beefy. Hard to attack through. They're at 20. Things aren't looking great. That one's pretty good. We can draw a card off of it. Obviously, we double spells, so their Ledger Shredder is better, but looks like we'll be casting this Collected Company, though, which is good. Yeah, so that also just pause in mindset here. Them having Young Pyromancer pretty much tells me I don't have to play around sweepers ever, right? Which is great. I don't think, I mean, depending on what their board is, I don't think this is a very great plan against us. We can just beat this, especially if they have sweepers. It's bad with their sweepers, and if they don't have sweepers, then I don't have to worry about them. So I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good about my position right now. Obviously, Treasure Cruise changes things. Them going up to 6 cards is tough. Fiery Impulse is tough. Having a 5/7 Ledger Shredder is tough. But this game actually felt pretty winnable if we had better Collected Companies. But yeah, their clock is just too powerful now. Another Collected Company. This one's pretty good. I don't remember what happens, but they're at 12 now. We can't get in on the ground, so we're gonna have to rely on Shaman of the Packs for the rest of the game. They also have 8 power in the air. That's a big number. I think they can kind of safely attack with their 1/1s, but somehow they're out 1 card in hand, so I'm not feeling bad about this. Double Shaman of the Pack or something can get us there. Warmaster Shaman of the Pack can get us there. Collected Company on their upkeep. I think they have a counter spell, and that's game. Oh, okay, yeah. We have the block. So you're saying there's a chance. Draw the Collected Company, and it's not good enough. All right, we needed Shaman of the Pack there. It was actually pretty close, though. If this deck isn't running sweepers, then I think the matchup is way better. If it's all single target removal. Fine hand. If Elf isn't removed immediately, then this hand's like really good. They don't have the 1-drop removal spell. But they do. But that's the best one for us to see, right? The best 1-drop removal for us to see. Doesn't feel too bad. They have to, discard a card and whatever. So we go for a Collected Company. It's not the best Collected Company. I made a decision there. So I could have gotten Leafcrown Visionary, which obviously is, one of the best cards in the deck. But I couldn't use it immediately. And I kind of read that they just played a Chord of Course, discard an Opt. Like, they probably have removal spells, and they're going to kill it. If I don't untap with it, it's not that good. I'd rather play, I'm obviously getting Dwynen's Leap, but I'd rather get this, where it just, like, immediately gets a card, and then they're like, removal isn't great. That was my thought process, at least. Maybe it's wrong, but I felt like I had a good enough hand to deal damage through single target removal that I'd rather just get the card. Shaper Sanctuary is nice. It's actually really nice. Especially with us knowing what they have going on. Amass a good board, make their single target removal bad for the rest of the game. We're in a pretty good spot. Pieces of the puzzle is really slow. What they get with it. Fiery Impulse and Treasure Cruise. That's pretty insane. They're obviously holding Fiery Impulse. We got a good draw. Get that Jaspera Sentinel out there. And then Shaman of the Pack. So we get to draw a card. It's great. We get to deal a lot of damage. Then we get to hit him really hard. We have the other Shaman of the Pack in hand. But it looks like they've lost enough tempo with their draw cards that we're able to take over this game. Obviously, we can't beat a sweeper right now. But having an Pyromancer in the deck probably means that they don't have a sweeper. Thinking Dice would have been good if they drew it earlier. Fiery Impulse is not that bad for us. Oh, we ended up getting double Shaman. They leave back some blockers. On this board, I just want to pause. I know we have Shaman in the pack and we're about to win. But let's say we didn't. I'm actually not super worried about our position. Like, we can deal a lot of damage with just threat of Gnarlroot Trapper activation. So I actually have been really liking this card. It's been pretty impressive. But once again, we just have the win right here. Nice. That's game 1. Match 1. So let's go to match 2. I do not remember what this was against either. Solid hand. Got 1-drop, 2-drop mix. Looks like 5-color, like enigmatic or whatever. The list is actually better against us than it used to be. They have 4 sweepers on the board that are 3 mana. That's pretty tough for us to deal with. I guess some board development. They haven't cast a spell yet. Pretty happy about that. I think they have Karuga revealed, right? Yeah. Okay. So we didn't have to worry about anything. Fable's a little bit slow. I wonder if they... quick pause. I wonder if they didn't read Gnarlroot Trapper and why I left it back. Because I think they block here. Oh, no, they don't. I'm wrong. I'm trying to amass this Shaman to deal more damage than previous. But we have a lot of damage next turn. Don't really know how much. Oh, there we go. Not a bad draw. That's not bad either. And I think we can just attack with everybody for max damage, and it's lethal. If they block here, they take 6, or do they go to 1 here? They go to 1. Okay. So yeah, kind of hard for them to get out of this on this board state. I don't think they play the main deck sweepers. Kenrith can gain them some life. Oh, Kenrith Leyline Binding. That's pretty big. Wow, don't remember that. Oh, but we drew perfectly. This is exactly lethal. Now I'm remembering the game. right? Because they basically are at 6, right? Because Kenrith can give them 5 life. They have 3 blockers. So if I didn't draw that, I guess I could have drawn this or a Boseiju, a Shaman, or a Chord, right? All of those would have done it. But this one, did it best. Great. And I didn't have to worry about any instant speeds, right? Because I have Fires of Invention now. So that one went pretty well. That was a good draw. Good top deck. Game 2. Keep a little bit of a risky one. Masked Vandal's pretty good. They have a lot of exile-based removal. Sometimes it's hard for them to get a creature in the graveyard. I think it's still worth bringing in, but could kind of go either way. We're gonna develop our mana. If we're allowed to cast our spells, we're in a really good spot. If we're not allowed to cast our spells, it's a lot harder. We can go pretty wide here. If we can develop our mana and they don't have a sweeper, we're in a really good spot. But I think they have a sweeper here after this attack. Get a trade with the elf token. Fires. Oh, Heliod. That's interesting. We get to draw a card. That's nice. We can't cast that. Once again, our mana is pretty rough. I played this to... quick pause. I attacked with that just because I felt like I needed to get fires out. They could buy Karuga double spell next turn. That's pretty impactful. They could flip this. I forget what that even does. But with 2 Shaman in hand, I didn't feel like I needed the Anthem as much as I just needed to be able to cast my spells and slow them down. And I think killing fires really does slow them down. So that was my decision. Definitely could go either way, though. Got some damage in there, too. Enigmatic is brutal here. I think we lose because of that. Yeah, I don't think we're beating an Atraxa. Oh, drawing Selfless Spirit actually is pretty good. Now I'm remembering some key parts about this game. So we get to stop this, and Selfless Spirit shuts this off for a turn. If we draw a Chord, there's a chance, right? If they attack, we block with Selfless Spirit and sacrifice Selfless Spirit. Obviously, that doesn't go to plan because they had Stomp. But the plan's solid enough. If they were at 17 here, I think Shaman and then Chord for Shaman is lethal. But obviously, there's not much more to even be played here. Not too many more good decisions to make. Yeah. I think we take one more untap step. Kenrith is a little bit brutal. See what this collecting company brings us. Nothing good. Okay, so that one was honestly pretty close. But didn't quite get there. We're on the play, and let's see what happens. Bad hand. Mulligan the Mistcaller away. No 1-drop, so this is not looking great for us. They're pretty slow though. The Kruger version is definitely a little bit slower. Little too late. I felt like this hand could play a little bit more of a grindy game if we don't have a 1-drop. I'd rather be drawing cards and trying to be at card parity with them, and not play into a sweeper, right? Because I know they bring in 4 Deafening Clarions now. We still have a decent board. Develop our mana. Obviously, we're bad against a sweeper, especially now. But we have a good untap if they sweep. Right, untap, play these 2 cards. Looks like they don't got much going on though, which is nice. They could have another sweeper. I'm going to try to stay at card parity with them. Hand's pretty decent. They probably have 5 drops, so our next turn's pretty bad. But, we got them at 11. We have a Shaman in the hand. They choose to cycle. Fable into Touch of the Spirit Realm. Interesting. Is this lethal? Not yet, right? Get them to 4. So this is nice. So quick pause. In this situation... Okay. In this situation, I could have gotten 2 more damage with Chord for Dwynen's Elite or something like that, but I'm going to wait to Chord on their turn. I think that having Selfless Spirit in the deck is really good here. I think that having Mistcaller is really good here. And then otherwise, like, we're pretty good against anything they do. They also don't have big fires out, so it's going to be a little bit tough for them to double spell, I guess. We can easily take this too. Happy to do it. Let's see what they get. They hard cast Atraxa. All right, but we're good against that, right? We just Chord and it's lethal. So close one. They stumbled a little bit, but we got it in 3. All right, those were the games that I didn't remember. These I remember a little bit better. All right, decent enough hand. 3 Overgrown Tombs a lot on the draw. Obviously, we're leading on Mystic. Going to be hard to double spell on 2, but we can double spell on 3. They didn't, so this is a quick pause. I don't like this play, but I guess, I don't know. I feel like they should have done it on their turn, personally, but Dwynen's, or sorry, what was I trying to say? I have the option for Warmaster and Elvish Mystic. If they're holding up Make Disappear, I'd rather Dwynen's Leak get countered. They're holding up removal, then I'd rather Warmaster not die, and then this just misses its trigger. This was just a weird play because Fading Hope on Elvish Mystic, I just play it again. Oh. What happened? Oh, this is what I do. Okay. Yeah, but we did miss out on the 1/1. They get to scry. I'm thinking this is creativity. We get to trigger this Warmaster if there's no removal. But if there is... Oh, it's a counterspell. I was going to say, if there is removal, it's not even that bad because, like, against creativity, if you're preventing them from getting tokens out, you're time warping the idea for their combo, right? Here, I had the option to play Shaman of the Pack or Glissa. Glissa's good here because they can't make 2 treasure tokens and discard a card. I forget what big score. They can't big score and untap and combo, right? Because they need 5 mana to combo, not using the treasures, and they can't kill Glissa. Glissa stops the combo. So that was my decision point there. Gives us an extra turn if they had it. And also Shaman here is good, on next turn. We might have the opportunity to like hold Glissa for a very long time or something like that, and that'd be good. Yeah, looks like they can't beat the Glissa. We had a good board state. So that's game 1. Game 2. Bad hand into not great hand. We could draw into it though. That's not drawing into it. That's not great either. So we have a choice to make. I'm going to try to stay at card parity with them. That it's always tricky to think like, what do I want to do, Warmaster or Leaf Crown, right? And I just try to think of like how aggressive I need to be. As a general rule, I think that if you're on the draw, you're probably not super able to be super aggressive, especially with our 1-drop being removed. So it's okay to Leaf Crown first. If you're on the play, maybe the other way around. But it is matchup dependent. But that's one of those decisions I struggle with most in the deck, actually. So we get a Warmaster out, play a tap land, don't feel great about my position, and Solemnity Visions and Aether Gust. Not bad, not bad. Both players are a little slow here. Holding a Boseiju seems good. Holding Chord seems good. I'm going to do this on their end step, I think. I'd be surprised if I don't. We have a second one. It's okay if they Aether Gust it. They Make Disappear it. That's fine too. This is not great. I'm kind of surprised I attack. Aether Gust here. Interesting. What did I do with it? Put Elvish Warmaster on the top of their library. Okay, I guess I do want to draw it. If they like go for it, we do have Chord of Calling, which is nice. But it looks like we're both not doing what we're trying to do. Warmaster out seems okay. We have Chord for 1. We have Boseiju if they happen to target like a treasure token or something like that. But I guess they haven't even revealed creativity or anything that would super signify creativity. Solid draw. Nothing wrong with it. I guess we have to choose, like, do I want to play Boseiju, be able to core for 3? Do I want to hold it? It's kind of tough. Looks like we're holding it. I think I could be being a little bit more aggressive right now. I think at the end of this game, I was thinking I wish that I had played a little bit more aggressively. I think that we could have cornered them a little bit better. We do have attacks now. This Boseiju also on Hollow Storm Giants is going to feel good when it has the possibility to go off. They're at 11. Their time's ticking. It's a good draw. And they're at 6. We can attack for exactly 6 right now. And if they animate Hollow Storm Giants, we do have Boseiju to help us there. And that's exactly what happens. All right, looks like they were probably just drawing a lot of lands, or maybe they had creativity in hand and no way to actually cast it. So, yeah, that was a little bit of a non-game. But that was match 3. Next 2 matches, I believe, are both mono green. Solid hand on the draw, on the play. Solid hand on the play. Get a Jaspera Sentinel out there. Next turn, we Warmaster Jaspera Sentinel. I'm feeling pretty good about it. It's mono green with an elf on 1, which is, the best way that mono green can develop. But we have good long and a pretty fast game too. I think that before I cast this Collected Company, I want to develop my board as much as possible. So I think you're going to see me develop my mana. Yes. Okay. Quick pause. Okay. So in this situation, like, Collected Company is obviously the best card in the deck, but it's not always the best card to cast immediately. I got to triple spell this turn and really develop my mana. So I like doing that over Collected Company. Sometimes it's like tempting to just have Collected Company and want to cast it because it's the most impactful. But this Collected Company could hit anything. And, like, ideally, we're getting every time we draw, we're getting closer and closer to either drawing a Shaman in the pack or Collected Company into a Shaman in the pack. So if we let ourselves do that, so that Shaman in the pack deals as much damage as possible, that's one of the best ways to beat green or really any deck. So I'm super happy to develop my mana there. Like, next turn, maybe we Leaf Crown and Collected Company. Not really remembering what actually happens. But we can get a big swing in. We're actually not casting this Collected Company. I think we're actually attacking Kiora here. Yeah, so this was an interesting... I wish I could go back. So in that attack, I'm remembering now, I attacked Warmaster, which, obviously, usually we want to save our Warmaster, but Kiora, like, untapping could win them the game, and I also think that we have enough going on that if we slow them down a little bit, because obviously we couldn't win that turn. Oh, okay. Thank you, Magic Online. There was a bug that can't open treasure chest or something like that. We'd have to have a pretty good Collected Company to win that turn, because Jaspera Sentinel was like would have had to like tap attackers and things like that. So I like just slowing their development when we had the option to. And I also attacked Warmaster at the Kiora, so that they had to block that even though Kiora was lethal, so they would take maximum damage if they wanted to kill the Warmaster. So I thought those attacks were pretty good. As long as we can either cast Collected Company, we're probably in a good spot. They do have the potential to do a lot of mana this turn, but let's see what happens. I do not remember. Collected Company, very, very bad Collected Company in this board state. Not the best. We get some attacks in. They have the potential to untap and beat us. One card in hand makes that kind of tough. They do have a Storm in the graveyard, though. So as long as they don't combo us, we're pretty good. I think it's going to be really hard for them to combo, but they could develop an enormous board. Card in hand must have not been super impactful. They got a bunch of blockers, but as long as 2 get through, we're good. And I think that we have enough attackers for 2 attackers to get through. I guess we need 3 attackers to get through. Gave ourselves the opportunity to draw Chord of Calling just in case something happens, but I really didn't need to do that. Attacking with everything is lethal here. So that was game 1, I believe. Going into game 2. I've been boarding a little bit differently against green. I think I've been bringing in Pylon. Yeah, we see it right here. I kept this. Well, this is super risky. We need the land so badly. But I guess if they have a slower start, we can just Warmaster, Chord of Calling, and that's actually pretty effective. This is not a bad draw. Helps our Chord of Calling be effective sooner. But they have decent development. They must have a top-heavy hand. This is an awkward position. We have 2 extra mana, but the way we've drawn, we just can't use it. They're pretty close to dead, though. With 2 Warmasters, if we chord for Shaman and untap and Shaman, that's an enormous amount of damage. So let's see what they do. Storm the Festival. We could try to stop Karn or something like that, but I don't think a Karn is really doing much. But by Chord of Calling for Phyrexian Revoker, I mean. So we get a Shaman, big damage, and then untap Shaman is I believe lethal. We almost have enough to pile on here too. Would have been kind of cool. There's our Phyrexian Revoker friend. Yeah, this has to be lethal. 2 Warmasters going at the same time is pretty hard to beat. A little bit of a risky hand, but ended up working out. I kept this back because I think it's free. I don't think they have the option to do anything, but it does have Pylon mana. Doesn't matter here, but getting in that practice might be good in the future. That was game 2. I don't need to play game 2 again. Okay. Last one, mono green. Solid hand, a little bit light on action. I lead on Jaspera Sentinel here. Talked about this kind of a lot. This gets around if they fatal push, I'd much rather have a Mystic than a Sentinel later in the game. And if they have Spikefield Hazard, this gets to use mana next turn, where everything else doesn't. So I do like making that decision blindly, especially because even if we draw our best 3-drop Glissa, we're not casting it on 2 over double spelling. Not the best draw in the world. This chord will be impactful. I don't even remember what we get, honestly. It's kind of tough to say what is the best thing to get. Probably a Lord is good. It gives Warmaster a higher potential to yeah, there it is. Okay. Gives Warmaster an easier time. Quick pause because a lot just happened that I forgot about. It gives Warmaster an easier time using its ultimate, which would be good on this board state. We could have Shaman, but I do think this is more impactful. Especially it seems like they have a non-combo-y hand, which is nice. And then I also Boseiju their Nykthos. Might make life a little bit easier down the road. Chord of Calling is good again. It's not great, but we can get some sneaky damage in. Karn, I was a little bit worried about Ratchet Bomb. Pithing Needle is definitely good against Warmaster. Can't really do much about that, especially since we already used what we had going on. But I think we can just get another Leaf Crown. I'm not sure what we get. Yeah, and we're in a pretty aggressive spot. We can draw a lot of cards here. Don't remember how I played this. I don't remember if I'm trying to get Karn off the board or if I'm trying to get them low. It's kind of could go either way. Well, this board state's getting really big. Got to draw a lot of cards. If we get to untap, we're going to be able to draw a lot of cards again. I think that we're trying to get Karn to die here, though. We don't need a lot more cards. We just need to untap and Shaman and then swing for lethal. Once again, I was worried about Silex or Ratchet Bomb effect, but they can't cast Sky Sovereign, so that's nice. Get to draw some cards. Chord of Calling puts the nail in the coffin. No chance. Shaman, I believe trigger on the sack we just chord, but don't remember completely. I chord with creatures I can attack even though I have 6 mana. That was funny. Okay. So that was somewhat close. They didn't have an insane hand against us, not super fast. But it was a solid hand. Pylon. And then an otherwise decent hand. This actually, that collecting company I think is going to be really impactful. Don't really remember how this game goes. They get a Palooka Nose on 2. It's a little bit worrisome. Can't really do much in terms of mana development here. And Karn, a little bit scary. I think we have a cool turn here. Let's just pause. I think we have a cool turn here. Or is it next turn? We have a lot going on. I think I go for a Collected Company. Trying to maybe get Pylon on Karn. Doesn't end up happening. A little bit scary. They got Sky Sovereign, so that's a little bit scary. But our next turn is really cool. So yeah, Sky Sovereign. They get to do Karn again. They get Mightstone, Weakstone. Pretty good card. Okay, pause. So if I Nykthos now, I need black mana. So I can't Nykthos after this. If I Nykthos now, I think I can draw a card here. If I leave this black mana up, or maybe I can't draw a card here. I could be wrong. But I get to develop my board. I get to Pylon, Boseiju, attack. That's pretty devastating. This was a really cool turn for Elves. Yeah, so we get to Pylon, and then we have this 1 mana floating Boseiju, and then we get an attack on Karn and an attack on them. So that was a pretty devastating turn. This is... Oh. Quick pause. Again, I was thinking that we kill Karn. Karn's already minus twice. They're pretty much guaranteed dead next turn. It's going to be hard for them to have a turn where that doesn't happen. So I'd rather hit them for 7. That's what I did. I hit them for 7 instead. Could have played it safe and attacked Karn so they can't do it again. But I felt like putting the pressure on them would be better against like the Mightstone, Weakstone situation that we got going on here. And we can always pressure Karn this turn, right? Like his plus isn't really doing much till the end of your next turn, and until your next turn up to 1 target artifact. Yeah, maybe they can make a 5/5, but... So they play Cavalier, yeah. Having a blocker is probably better. Develop your green in case you draw Nykthos, things like that. All right, I think we can do a Warmaster play here. Yeah, big green, yeah. So there we go. There's a 5-0. Quick recap. Hi, Justin. How's it going? So we did not get to play against Red-Black and like try out the plan of Shaper Sanctuary and Pylon. So I'm going to continue doing that. And thanks. But I'm pretty happy with the main board, at least. Sideboard, we're still trying to figure things out. Like maybe we don't need the second Revoker. Maybe I'm going to try to play in the challenge tonight. Maybe I want Yasharn in one of these spots. All things to consider, right? This particular board is pretty weak against control. Like, what do we have against control? Soulless Spirit's still nuts. Like, these are pretty good against control. I don't really even like Pylons. So yeah, maybe we want like a Vivian or something like that. But anyway, there's a 5-0 going on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. And I'll be streaming this week, and I'll try to post my results from the challenge tonight. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.